Good morning. This is Todd. It's been a minute since I made a post. I don't know if you can tell, but I moved. We bought a house on the Central Coast that needed a complete remodel, Central Coast of California. So I've been crazy busy, and I'm sorry about not putting very much up. But in between raising 3 kids and just being busy with life and work, I've done a couple things to Land Cruiser. I just want to get you guys caught up. So these are some used 37's that I bought when I bought my locked 529 axles, and they were built in '09, so they're really dry. And I knew with a 5,000 pound vehicle, as soon as I went wheeling with them, I was just going to rip the treads off. So I went ahead and bought some new tires. 4-Wheel Parts had a sale on MTZ's, Mickey Thompson's. I got them to my front door for $800. I googled 4-Wheel Parts discounts and found a 20% off coupon, and anyway, free shipping. So I'll show you those tires. I couldn't pass them up. But a few things that I did: I took the front bumper off due to the 37-inch tires, and then even just to drive with the 37-inch tires, if you can tell from that angle, I trimmed the back piece of the fender. It was real easy. All I did was I took this line here from where your last, this is where your last bolt is for your fender. It's about halfway up, and I followed this line. I just took this line and I continued it all. Anyway, I just continued that line straight down, and now you can kind of see where I cut through that. These are the holes where I put the plastic rivets. I cut right through the middle of this one, so it kind of gives you, and it ends up being about 4 inches off the back of your fender. And I did that just so I could turn the wheels, and I took the front bumper off because those 37's with the 10 wides and the 1.5-inch spacers, man, they stick out. So now you know where I trim the fenders in order to fit, just for driving around. 37's look awesome. They fit the fender wells perfect, but you know, I couldn't pass up that deal on 35s, brand new to my doorstep for $800. So I'm going down a tire size, which I'll be over geared on the 35s, but that'll be okay. I'm putting them on today, so I'll try and get that video up today. But here's a little idea for you guys. If you want to build your own front bumper, all I did was take a piece of angle iron, and I know it's not tough enough, but it's just a place to start. I bolted it on here, and what I'm going to do is just hold my bumper up to that, tack it in place, and then I can begin to build off that platform, unbolt it and bolt it back up. And there's actually welded in nuts, if you can find the right 17mm or 14mm bolt. So anyway, that's what it looks like on 37's. If I were you and I had your money, I would go 37's, but I don't have your money. I spent a lot of money on my house, so 37's are going. That's a 10-inch rim, 1.25-inch wheel spacer. And then here are my 35-inch Mickey Thompson MTZs. Like I said, later today I'll be putting these on. I'll try and put another video up for you guys to see it. Just a little status update on parts. Hey Jonah, man. Say hi to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube. No? Alright, so here's the bumper I'm building. Just nothing fancy. It's 2x5. You can see where on the edge of that angle iron I'm beginning to cut it and bend it back towards the body. And then you can see these lines right here. I'm going to cut it at a 45 down to the angle point right here. Or it's not even a 45, but it's going to be a nice gentle slope. And then in the middle, I'm going to notch it down like this, weld the plate in, put a piece of tube on that piece of plate, and that's going to be where my winch mounts. So it's just going to be a base. It'll be mounted by a lot more than that piece of angle iron. The angle iron is just a place to start, bolted on and off with just 2 bolts. On my parts update, here's that rear housing that was had the E-locker in it, and then I had another third member that had 529s. So what I had to do was I had to take the 529s out. Sorry for the mess, but I use this cheapy bearing puller to pull the pinions apart, because underneath here's the 410 pinion, underneath the pinion bearing is this shim, and that's the shim that you use to shim the bearing up and down, or shim the pinion up and down on the ring gear, so that you can get a good pattern. And then on what's interesting about these E-locked ones is, see here, there's no here, let me pull the locker off. There's no spinner. That's actually the locker. So on a Toyota like pickup third member, you have to set your backlash, you have spinners. But on these, it's actually shimmed on the outside of the carrier bearings. Oops. It's actually shimmed on the outside of the carrier bearing. So this is how the locker works on a rear 9.5, or what is it, 9 1/4, something like that. The axle shaft has long splines, and it goes through this little like a shift fork out of a transmission, and it goes through this and into your carrier. So when your little electric motor engages, it engages the axle shaft to the carrier and locks, so the carrier begins to turn, and it turns both axles. I was really impressed by this. I thought the simplicity was, I don't know, just a good idea. Instead of internal, I've rebuilt ARBs and all that, and all these parts are internal, and you got to get it through the seals, and the seals have got a seal around a turning seal surface that can wear down. This thing, it just basically, you just make it to where your spider gears are locked up. This ear just goes in and out, and it just locks right onto there. One of the things I'm going to try and cover, I know I didn't cover putting in 529s, which I wanted to and I didn't, but one of the things I want to cover is how I'm going to wire my E-locker. I'm going to put mine on I'm not going to do limit switches. I'm going to put mine on 2 LEDs with a toggle switch. So anyway, so there's the other, and then the front, you can tell, has the manual lock. So I'm going to be pulling that third member out, converting my front housing over to accept that third member with 529s. So anyway, I haven't gotten very far, but I've been moving along. So thought you guys might like to see it on 37s. I'm going to be building my own custom rear bumper, front bumper, and sliders. And I don't have very many tools, so you guys out there that just have an angle grinder and a cutoff saw,